You only need to know me. I will be the one.
This video is also sponsored by the subscribe button. Show your appreciation to our sponsor by clicking the subscribe button and the like button today. So hopefully this video is being released before chapter 1043 drops, but I want to talk about what I'm sure everybody is talking about, and that is Luffy's defeat. Or maybe we should say supposed defeat, because he has bounced back before. The main characters in most shonen rarely fail, with the notable pre-time skip exception of the crew splitting up due to Kuma on Sabaody, and Luffy failing to save Ace during Marineford's war, or well, not failing because he did save him, but Ace still died. A failure that took many of us by surprise and occurred right before Luffy's very eyes. I don't think Oda has ever made this more apparent about Luffy, the protagonist's various displays of plot armor, than when he fought Moria during an arc that is heavily connected to and foreshadowed many aspects of Wano. Back then, Luffy had said he won't be crushed because rubber always bounces back, and understand that Moria is an opponent that warned of Kaido stealing everything from Luffy, his crew, his dreams, and more. From lived experience, a true nightmare waiting in the new world. But the fact that rubber always bounces back is why I don't think the raid will end in failure. I do not think defeat will be snatched away, stolen from the jaws of victory. But who knows, maybe this is the tragedy of Act 3, or maybe we're coming close to that. Maybe Oda is keeping to that path after all. Luffy's plot armor should serve the plot, and unlike Sabaody and Marineford, where Luffy's loss served the purposes of the plot, there are now just so many factors that point to Luffy eventually winning here. The main one being time and the community taking notice to Oda rushing the story, leaving the anime to pick up the pieces on everything else. On Twitter I had mentioned Luffy getting back up because his apparent defeat to Kaido feels like a different way of riding his Gear 4, losing steam against Doflamingo at the climax of that arc, when also trying to finish Doflamingo off. Oda probably changing the formula so it's not too redundant, but again, against Kaido, Luffy has said this was his final Gear 4 in chapter 1041, and he says it again in chapter 1042 that this is his final Gear 4. He doesn't have time to waste. The emphasis Oda is placing on the time limit is important. Even Luffy trying to hold in the air or steam that at one point escapes his mouth after Kaido nearly knocks him out again another time, with an initial roaring thunder or thunder cannon Bagua. Time. Does Luffy have time to make another comeback with Onigashima about to fall? Do we have the time for this arc to go on much longer? What exactly does it mean for the raid to fail? Because I know Morge believes in this idea, I think he still does, I'm not sure. Maybe not. But how would it be defined? The raid failing, exactly. Well, against Dofi, Luffy was short on time, both for Gear 4's time limit and the birdcage closing in on Dressrosa, and given 1 hour, I think, which is similar to Odin's Hour of Legend. I'm not sure how much time Luffy has been given until Onigashima falls, but if it fell on Wano or it fell elsewhere but still killed everyone on the island of Onigashima, the Alliance, that would also be a mark of failure, I think. Oda, as I said, is also running out of time if he wants to finish Wano this year, if he really wants to end One Piece in the next 5 to 6 years. So this defeat of Luffy's, I think, will be temporary like the other defeats Luffy has suffered to Kaido recently, at least since the raid began. I said this before in my Luffy Awakens Gear 5 Soul video, this video on the screen here, and we'll come back to this. But Kaido is searching for a place to die or be defeated. It is very possible that this place is Wano, that Wano is special not just because of Big Mom's words about a piece of the One Piece being located here possibly, whatever that means, but also because, as Kozuki Oden had said, Wano is the place Joy Boy would return to, that Wano, its borders, its ports must be opened up to prepare for Joy Boy's return, that Wano and the entire world has been waiting for a legendary figure to appear, a prophecy in motion for the last 800 years. It's possible if this figure is Joy Boy that again Kaido came to Wano for that reason. After all, some people believe that Kaido has been searching for Joy Boy for a while, and has maybe considered others to be candidates to be Joy Boy and so candidates to defeat him. Kaido telling Luffy it seems you couldn't be Joy Boy either. Aside from referring to himself, maybe Kaido was referring to others. One of those is Ace. Even though Kaido and Ace never met, Ace went to Wano to defeat Kaido and even promised Yamato to return, destroying Kaido's statue as a warning he would. Now, instead of Ace returning, in his place as follows inherited will, his brother has. and just maybe his brother will become or is Joy Boy. But Kaido, as a man searching for defeat here in Wano's war, may have gone to Marineford during that war for the same reason, because Ace, if he was supposed to be Joy Boy theoretically, was there, aside from merely being interested in dying in that war. The opportunity it posed, as well as Whitebeard being there, Whitebeard, in Kaido's words, having done it right, died properly, like a legend, like a real pirate should. And so Kaido is searching for a man that can defeat him, and either believes that man to be Joy Boy, or believes Joy Boy will usher in the great war that will claim his life or give him the legendary death he might be craving and desperate for. No wonder Kaido was so disappointed after Oden failed to defeat him in their battle, and now the same disappointment is written all over Kaido's face again here in the present during Wano's war. Recognize that the disappointment on Kaido's face in chapter 1042 is far more severe than the disappointment written on his face when he thought Luffy might not be Joy Boy, or as he regretted not removing Luffy's head as a trophy, as proof to show the Alliance Luffy was really gone. Otherwise, their faith in him would endure and never disappear. And so faith, an undying belief in Luffy, as has been presented time and again in Oda's story and during the raid. Luffy already had his moment where he fell in the water before awakening some kind of new power, it would seem. How he promised via Momonosuke that he would return and defeat Kaido, that he was not done yet. We have already been through this before, so I doubt Oda will make us endure it again. This time Luffy will keep his promise. Unlike the Joy Boy of the past, this promise will not be broken. If Wano is the place Joy Boy was foretold to make his return to, then Luffy needs to get back up and fulfill this role. In terms of the new power I think Luffy should display, I mentioned time earlier. The time limit. Rubber always bouncing back. Kaido said in chapter 1042 that Rubber shouldn't be able to do that. His surprise. Luffy being able to freely control his rubber body or bend it to his will, or as some think, maybe Luffy isn't just rubber at all, or maybe he is another substance that is similar to rubber. Maybe Luffy is learning to manipulate or alter the properties of his rubber, and this is his awakening. Or maybe Luffy's devil fruit goes by another name, a different name, whatever that might be, with a different and unique power than what we have been told or shown thus far. A power that relates more to stretching than anything else. A power that will allow him to either master Gear 4 without a time limit, or unlock a new gear entirely in addition to advanced Conqueror's Haki. Conqueror is a strong will, allowing Luffy to snap back from multiple different defeats to Kaido. Conquerors being the reason Kaido took an interest in Luffy to begin with. But to close out the video, I wanted to briefly mention that maybe someone else defeats Kaido, but who would that be? A better idea is that some others stall Kaido for a bit, maybe. For one, a theory has gone around that the Straw Hats would stall Kaido. The Nine Shadows Toki spoke of being Luffy's crewmates: Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, Nico Robin, Frankie, Brook, and Jinbei. Or just maybe the Scabbards, since Raizo said they must hurry, the preparations are almost complete. No idea what that means, but there are 9 red Scabbards. Snake Man Luffy also has used a move against Kaido titled Gomu Gomu no Hydra, also called Gum Gum Nine-Head or Nine-Headed Serpent, maybe alluding to 9 figures holding Kaido off while Luffy recovers. A final showdown with Kaido. Or maybe Momonosuke shows us his human or hybrid form and we get to see Kaido interact with an Oden look-alike. Or maybe Yamato stalls him again. There's also the option of Blackbeard for obvious reasons. No one knows what he's doing or what he might do. He's unpredictable. He's mentioned Wano in the past. He was even shown in chapter 925, far off on another island after the end of Act 1 of Wano, an ending that coincided with Luffy and Kid's declaration that they would defeat Kaido in chapter 924, I think. So who's to say there aren't others from the worst generation with similar desires to see Kaido defeated? Again, before Act 2 begins, we see Blackbeard mention Kaido, Big Mom, and Wano, and how Luffy and the Supernova had gathered there. Kaido had even invited Moria to join his ship. But it might not have been to go after Kaido after all, despite past theories on the idea, despite Moria's grudge and desire for revenge. In general, Blackbeard might be fine with letting others take Kaido and Big Mom down, because he is an opportunist. Finally, both Luffy and Zoro are down, and I'm mentioning them because of the emphasis on advanced conquerors and the overlap Luffy and Zoro sometimes have in this regard. Strong wills. Will both of them get back up? Again, hopefully this video is out before chapter 1043 because who knows what really happened to Luffy. But the Zoro killing Kaido stans are wondering if Zoro might still have a chance. Killing being a very different argument though than defeating, because Zoro can't defeat Kaido. That would interfere with the power scaling that needs to remain intact for Zoro's eventual fight with Shiryu of the Rain down the road. Think about it, if Zoro defeated Kaido, all the interest in the Shiryu fight vanishes, and we don't want to see that, do we? I can't see that happening at least. So maybe Zoro stalls Kaido if he does get back up, if he wakes back up with a new power that is. Law and Kid even defeated Big Mom together, so would Oda consider having a character help Luffy defeat Kaido? If Zoro and Luffy were to tag team Kaido, how would you guys feel about that? I made a video about the Year of the Tiger that we are now in, 2022, how this could relate to Zoro or Luffy in some way or inspire Oda to do something big, something unexpected, but again, I think Luffy should handle this alone. Although in a 1v1, bet on Kaido is what the legend says, and so far Luffy has failed to destroy Kaido's legend. The enigma of strength remains. But if it were 2 versus 1, Zoro and Luffy versus Kaido, would you enjoy seeing that fight even if it doesn't happen? Would Kaido still be too much the way Zoro and Luffy are now, absent a potential power-up from each upon waking up again? Let me know in the comments what you think. But to end the video, I think it has to be Luffy. It should be Luffy. Kaido is his emperor to defeat. He promised to take down all of the emperors, although we see him holding up 3 fingers, not 4. But he never really was going to take them all down. I'd say Kaido and Blackbeard. Big Mom is up for debate in the future, given her defeat to Law and Kid juxtaposed with what Luffy said to Katakuri, and how Katakuri said Luffy was seeing pretty far into the future, an event, a date that has yet to pass. But Law and Kid can't do much against Kaido themselves if he turns out to be the victor in this fight against Luffy, because Law and Kid even admitted such. They are done. They don't have any will left. Anyways, a lot of people are beginning to bet on Kaido right now, but I'm going to stay true to my original bet ever since the raid began and bet on Luffy again, but who knows? Anything can happen. The first time Kaido defeated Luffy, he asked, "What kind of king did you say you would be?" as Luffy lay down for the count. The second time Kaido defeats Luffy on Onigashima, Luffy unlocks an advanced conqueror's ability only some, the strongest or mightiest, can use. The third time Kaido defeats Luffy, Kaido reveals himself to have considered whether Luffy might be Joy Boy before feeling doubt. And so we see a connection between Joy Boy, the Pirate King, and strength. A translation I saw out there alludes to Joy Boy being a strong kid or person like Luffy, and now chapter 1042, Luffy defeated again. To break or close out the cycle, Luffy shouldn't repeat his first defeat. By staying down, he should get back up one final time and defeat Kaido, making no excuses for the unfair attack Kaido managed to land on him. After all, Luffy told Katakuri in the duel between pirates there's no such thing as playing dirty. Luffy's recovery then, if it follows this reaction or belief, will refute Kaido's condemnation of the Scabbards and the people of Wano as peace-loving weaklings, claiming to seek honorable deaths. Losers trying to find excuses for their failure. Kaido seems to reference the title of chapter 1042 that the samurai are just pretending to be strong and winners need no excuse, asking Luffy, which one are you, a winner or a loser? An allusion to the idea that maybe if you win, you don't have to make excuses because that's what losers do to cover for themselves, to protect their pride. They cannot accept defeat, nor their deaths like honorable samurai should, as Kaido told Kinemon when he thought he had died. Winners don't make excuses seems to tie into the sneak attack Kaido lands on Luffy, as Luffy is distracted, and how Luffy's feelings on this should reject the false notion that peace is weakness, that a refusal to die or stay down is somehow wrong. After all, Luffy is one to regularly remind us that he will decide the time and manner of his death, no one else, that he won't die or truly lose until he becomes Pirate King. Oda also likes to turn things upside down, on their head, and so I think Luffy will, unlike Odin, come out on top this time around. But as usual, we will have to wait and see. Don't forget to like the video, comment with your thoughts below, share this with your friends, and subscribe. Also click that notification bell. And if you have a Twitter account, feel free to give me a follow on there as well. As always, there's more to come. Until next time.